Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Miami Heat retool roster in 4-team trade idea to end Jimmy Butler era. The Miami Heat find the ideal solution to move on from Jimmy Butler in a 4-team deal including the Phoenix Suns, Brooklyn Nets, and Toronto Raptors. The Miami Heat need to find a way to move on from Jimmy Butler fast to keep their playoff-caliber season on track. Tyler Herro has emerged as the team's #1 offensive option, so the team can pivot to creating a strong and deep roster around Herro and Bam Adebayo with whatever deal they use to move on from Butler. Future assets are out of the question, but maybe a bunch of win-now players will do. It seems no team is as motivated to acquire Butler as the Phoenix Suns, but their prime trade asset Bradley Beal is not of interest to the Heat. The Toronto Raptors are reportedly looking to move off several veterans on their roster, and by being a part of the Butler trade, they can get solid value for their players right now while also gaining future flexibility. Similarly, the Brooklyn Nets are taking a long-term view on roster building and might be convinced to help the Suns land Butler at the cost of another future asset. So could the four franchises somehow agree on a trade helping all of them get what they want? This mock proposal imagines that they do. Trade details: Miami Heat receive Bruce Brown, $23.0 million, Chris Boucher, $10.8 million, Davion Mitchell, $6.4 million. Phoenix Suns receive Jimmy Butler, $48.7 million, D'Angelo Russell, $18.6 million. Brooklyn Nets receive Bradley Beal, $50.2 million, Jusuf Nurkic, $18.1 million, 2031 first-round pick, PHX, 2026 second-round pick, DN. Toronto Raptors receive Ben Simmons, $40.3 million, Trendon Watford, $2.7 million, 2031 second-round pick, DN, 2031 second-round pick, MIA. The Heat receive 3 win-now rotational players who can fill their current roster. The Suns finally land Butler and a guard scorer to come off the bench while getting rid of Jusuf Nurkic. The Nets get one of the most valuable future assets in the NBA while also absorbing veteran contracts ahead of a dud free agency class in 2025. Finally, the Raptors trade out the clutter on their roster for Simmons and Watford's expiring contracts. The Heat retool their roster. This deal allows the Heat to maximize Butler's outgoing value by bringing them a set of role players who can greatly boost their winning hopes right now by filling out 3 key positions. A star or a huge draft return is simply not possible at this point in the trade saga, so this deal allows them to continue making a win-now push while gaining future flexibility. Bruce Brown is averaging 6.0 points and 3.1 rebounds, recently making his season debut after being sidelined. The swingman has proven he's a winning player in the past and his play style would fit in well with the Heat. Chris Boucher is averaging 10.5 points and 4.5 rebounds, making the Heat's big man depth more robust and dynamic with Boucher's ability to shoot. Davion Mitchell is averaging 6.0 points and 4.5 assists as a combo guard who would be a great defensive complement to Herro in the backcourt. Given the defensive issues they've run into playing Herro with either Terry Rozier or Duncan Robinson, options like Mitchell and Brown will greatly boost the Heat's floor for success. Erik Spoelstra is known for maximizing players with the role-player qualities these 3 players will bring to the Heat. Hopefully, he can do it on the fly this season and gauge if it works, as all 3 players can be made free agents in the summer, opening almost $50 million in cap space for the Heat. The Suns finally land their dream target. The one thing that's been clear over the last month is that the Phoenix Suns are first in line to acquire Jimmy Butler. The franchise has prioritized him as their target and seems to be motivated to get a deal done as well as extend Butler's contract. The Heat have refused to take on Bradley Beal, so the Suns cleverly find a way to send Beal to a team he won't refuse while landing the reinforcements they need. Butler is averaging 17.6 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.7 assists in a down year, although his effort and motivation have been questioned in games this season. Conor McGregor being sued for alleged sexual battery at 2023 NBA Final. The woman is described in the suit as a 49-year-old senior vice president at a high-profile Wall Street financial institution. She alleges that McGregor assaulted her in a bathroom of the Casillas Center, home arena of the Miami Heat, on June 9, 2023, when the Heat played the Denver Nuggets in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Her attorney, James Dunn, filed the lawsuit Tuesday in the U.S. District Court, Southern District of Florida. "My client has thought long and hard about the decision to pursue the civil case, and is fearful of the effect it may have on her job on Wall Street," Dunn said. Nonetheless, her main goal in filing the suit is to raise awareness and encourage others to report sexual assault. The lawsuit alleges that staff and security at the arena had actual knowledge of the wrongfulness of the conduct and failed to provide adequate security to protect her. It also accuses staff of continuing to serve McGregor alcohol, despite having a chargeable knowledge of a heightened risk of battery being carried out. The lawsuit notes that McGregor was at the game for a promotional skit in which he struck the Heat's mascot, Bernie, then punched the mascot again after he hit the ground. Promotional members of the Miami Heat then dragged Bernie off the court as McGregor attempted to spray the mascot with a featured pain relief product. After the game ended, the woman was led by a person affiliated with McGregor to the men's bathroom, where the assault took place, the lawsuit alleges. Authorities began investigating the allegations, but 4 months later announced they were not filing charges. Dwayne Wade weighs in on potential Jimmy Butler Heat exit as trade deadline looms. For the Miami Heat, 2025 has been a season of discontent. Yes, the franchise, miraculously, has a 20-19 record with 2 games left before the season's halfway point. However, the team's on-court performance has been overshadowed by the tug-of-war between Heat forward Jimmy Butler and club brass, culminating in a 7-game suspension for conduct detrimental to the team on January 3. Luckily for Miami, the team has no shortage of franchise icons ready and willing to address the situation. On Wednesday's edition of The Why with Dwayne Wade, the eponymous guard gave his perspective on the saga. To give Jimmy credit, Jimmy came in when they were losing the face of their franchise and became the face of the franchise, Wade said. That's hard to do. He became the people that those guys want to buy his jersey, wear his jersey. The Heat was a soft landing spot for Jimmy, and Jimmy was exactly the star that the Heat needed for 6 years. Butler's first year with Miami, 2020, immediately followed Wade's last. This is a tragic way to end a relationship. So as a former player, it's ugly on our franchise, it's a stain on our franchise that we continue to have the way that the relationships break up, Wade said. But also, too, on the other side, you don't run that organization as a player. So you get to that space sometimes where you want to do things your way. It's President Pat Riley's way. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.